situation. So the first thing I'm going to show you is division. So autumn and kind of early spring are both really good times to divide up herbaceous perennials, move them around the garden, and giving you basically free plants. So I'm going to show you one example here. So these are Shasta daisies. So there you go, it's a perennial. They are kind of semi-evergreen, the leaves. If it's a mild winter, the leaves will stay there around. And these started flowering kind of in June. We're now in September, so as long as you deadhead them, you can see here there's still young buds, so this would go on flowering for a while. But this is a good time to divide this up. So all I'm going to do is cut back all of this growth like that, and that's going to expose down here in the rootstock. Same in this one here. So you can see as you take away these old leaves, there's already new leaves growing underneath. So I'll cut that, put those away. I'll use this as a sponge here. So this was only a very small plant in a small pot when it was planted in probably April this year. So it's kind of tripled in size. So what I can do here, this is a very new area. It's only just been planted up, so we want to fill it out more. So I can dig that up, the whole bunch. Because it's not been there long, it's coming up really easily. And if you have a look at that, we can kind of shake some of that off the soil, and we can split this. So I can see kind of maybe three clumps there. 1, 2, 3. And all you really need to do with this is to pull it apart. With other types of plants, you could use your spade. So I've got a nice sharp spade, I could chop it up. Or you could use 2 forks, garden forks, and you stick them both in and pull them apart, and that would loosen up the roots. But here we go, so that's me got. That was really easy, that was easier than I expected. So I'll just chop that in half like that. And now I've got 3 bunches. So I'll put one back in the original hole. Give it a light firm with my foot, not too much. And then I can start spreading them around a little bit more. So here's the second bunch. I can see there's a gap here. So just dig a small hole. And it's really easy to do it this time of year because the soil's still warm and it's nice and loose. If you do it in early spring, it's much more likely to be wet, a bit waterlogged, and it would be very muddy doing this job. So there you go, straight in.
So you don't have to be too delicate with them.
Don't need to be delicate at all at this time of year. They're still growing, so yeah, you don't need to mess around. There's another gap there, to put some more in there. This one's a bit smaller, so just need a small hole, stick it in, make sure the roots are in, cover it up. That's it, and by this time next year, those 3 small bunches will have tripled in size again. 2 years, this whole area will just be daisies. Okay, so the only thing you need to check is that if you're going to divide perennials, you need to make sure they have this kind of root system. Some plants have a deep root system and you can't do this. An example would be lupins or sea holly. You can't move them around very easily because if you damage the roots, the plants will die. So just make sure, just Google it or go on the RHS website, which is very good. So if you know the name of your plant, just Google, can I divide this in autumn, and you'll get the answer.
Okay.
Okay, so second thing, make the point that as a gardener, plants are expensive. If you go to the garden centre, you'll pay a lot of money to fill out a reasonable sized garden. So when you can get free plants by dividing perennials or collecting seeds, always do it. Alright? So again, autumn, this is the time of year to be collecting seeds. This is a mixed border, and here we've got perennials and a few annuals. This plant here, this is lupins, so they were flowering kind of midsummer, blue, pink flowers, and then they set seeds. So you can see anywhere there's been a flower, there's very likely going to be seeds forming. So here's a seed head. There's another bigger one here. So this was a big flower spike, lupin flower spike. Alright, so with these, each pod, these are related to peas. You can see they look a lot like pea pods. And inside there's going to be seeds forming. So these ones, little peas, they're still green, so they're not ready. Whereas this one here, the pods are turned black. Okay. So if you can kind of hear them loose in there, you just need to open it up, and you've got these drying seeds. So in a single pod you've got 5 seeds. That's potentially 5 free lupin plants next year. So when you collect any seed, you want to make sure you keep it dry, not too warm. So these little paper seed packets, these little paper envelopes are perfect, but even just a white postage envelope would work. It's a good idea sometimes just to lay seeds out to let them dry properly. So I'll put these in here just now, and then I'll probably just put them out on a sheet of paper somewhere and let them dry for a week, 2 weeks, and then put them in a packet, write the date on it, what they are, and then you can sow those next spring. So what else do we have in here? We've got these cosmos. So this is an annual plant. Bumblebees they love it, they've fallen asleep in there. So already, this will just keep flowering till the end of October, even into November if it's quite mild. But with the original flowers, they're already starting to get some seeds forming. So if you just kind of take the seed head where there's been a flower, crush it in your fingers, have a look, you'll see that there's a lot of rubbish, but there's already a few ripe seeds. So these dark coloured things, they're firm, you can't bend it, it's not going to break easily. If you can bend it easily in your fingers, it's not a viable seed. Okay, so in there I've got 10 nice seeds just from one flower. And yeah, you can just again sow those in the spring around March, grow them on, and then plant them out end of May, and you've got lots of free cosmos. And it's a really lovely variety. I can't remember the name, Velouette it's called, but you can also get pure pinks or pure whites. I think the white one's called Purity. Yeah, very nice plant. I think that'll do for now. That gives you the idea. But any kind of, where you can see there's been flowers, there'll be seeds. Well, with wild plants as well, just have a look, see what's there, and you can collect those and grow them on in your own garden.